Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday Night Show and Share at Knox Makers. Every Tuesday we gather here and talk about projects we're working on, something that we've completed, something that we've completely screwed up and we want to warn others. We have a sign-up list when you first walk in the door, and the first one on the list tonight is Joe, who has an arm guard. Is Joe even in here? Yes, there you are.
Hello, my shiny, happy people. I am Joe, and I have been doing getting back into a little bit of traditional archery. I've done it since I was a small little guy. I'm sorry, but I didn't make these buckles very easy to use, so maybe I'll just have to hold it up. But anyways, so when you are going to shoot a bow, and you're holding it out there, you let it go, and sometimes that string will come down and hit your arm and give you a bad road rash. It can give big bruises. I'm a very big believer in PPE, personal protective equipment, and they make arm guards for yourself to protect yourself. You can wear a long sleeve shirt and everything, but I wanted to make myself an arm guard. So I took some of the leather from the leather shop over there that we have, and you basically strap it on. It's like a bracer, but in reverse. It's not protecting the outside, it's watching out for the inside of your arm, so as it drags down. This one, I wanted to make basically a whole arm guard. A lot of them are just the upper part here where it's like this and it'll only protect your arm. But this one you can use your hand on a regular bow that doesn't have a rest, and it'll make a rest for your arrow to go across, so it's not just rubbing straight on your hand when you're holding the bow. So it's kind of an all-in-one piece. But yeah, it's just a little simple show and share. I put it together for myself to mess around with, and I just thought I'd bring it in and be like, hey, leather work.
How long did it take, Joe?
Well, I've been growing this arm since, it took me a little bit. There was, at first I made it's not going to be that far out. I made a little pattern for myself out of paper first so that, I could figure out and mold it around myself to get the sizing right, see how big the thumb hole was going to be and all that. And then you don't have to, cut 17 pieces of leather, make the pattern first, and then save the leather. But I don't know, an evening of laying out and an evening of a leather awl. But yeah.
Did it work okay?
It's working great. It's comfortable. I can, I really wish it takes a second to put it, anyways, I'm not going to try to put it on. But the buckles are funky, and you only have one hand to work with. It's I can't work the buckle. But anyway, so but yeah, it's comfortable. It wears well, and I can still do other things. My hand is still a hand, so I can do other stuff with it. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Super cool. Next up we have Joe Campbell, who has a special box.
Well, a lot of you know my wife was a quilter, and she passed away about 6 weeks ago. So, we had her cremated, and this is for her. The wood is curly cherry, and then I use spalted maple. And she knows, I always geek things a little bit. Yes. Okay. Muted for some reason.
Did she make the focuses?
A friend of my wife's used one of her, let me, I don't know what it's doing, it's there.
Spite of all the funeral song, the birds will make their joyful sound.
First service is going to be Saturday at the Valley Workshop down here at the South Knoxville Community Center. Thank you.
You want me to hold? Thank you. She certainly was very talented. You've shown her quilts before and they're gorgeous. And your work is gorgeous. Next on our list, we have David, who's showing off a workbench.
Didn't bring it with me. It was kind of big. I actually did some effort to actually document what I was trying to do. I didn't make lots of copies. If anyone cares, I'll gladly share. But I'll show you what the thing looks like and what I had in mind when I started. Let's see if that's intelligible. It's a brighter yellow than that. It's pretty sunny. We have, I've decided I like sunflowers and daisies and stuff, so I painted it brightly. That's the first one. Same pattern. Because of the materials, for like one extra 1x4 board, you can make a second workbench. All you need is the bench top itself. And they sell those at Lowe's, 2 feet by 4 feet by 3/4 inch in this case. And it's like already cut. You don't have to do anything. It's like it's just waiting to happen. And it's like, I'll bite, I'll do that thing. So the first one, I did slats underneath, and the second one, I made it solid. And part of the goal here was to just have something to put all the dang paint you accumulate after 20 years of projects. Not counting whatever came with the house. Good grief. So I didn't buy any paint. And I painted every surface before I assembled it, which was kind of good, kind of not. And I discovered using pegs to hold things together. So on this one, the pegs hold the top to the rest of the bench. On the second one, I used the pegs to cover the screw hole. So it's like the price-wise, hardware's gotten crazy. It's actually, if you can stand to do the wooden peg thing, it's like probably pretty much kind of worth it, because the hardware is just ridiculous. Like these long bolts or 5/16 bolts of a couple of different sizes, carriage bolts. It's ridiculous. It's over $1 a piece for these things sometimes. And thought, no, I could literally shave down a tree limb, bang it in there, and no one would know if I didn't tell them. So anyway, that's my great plan for how to fix my garage once and for all by adding workbench space, so I don't have to get things down and put things up every single time. Yay me, it worked. That's all I got on this.
David, how long did it take?
It took, and I should have just led with that. My kid, before he took off to Oklahoma City to go be an engineer, said, 15 minutes a night would fix this dang garage. And he's kind of right. Probably a weekend apiece. Like a lot of it was like go paint for 15 minutes and come back tomorrow. So I was on it for about a month all told. But the actual working time, probably like an all day for each one once it's painted and cut. So not terrible. Good. I stopped now.
You'll have to share those plans. Next up is Rob, who has a calculator.
All right, I have to confess, I didn't make the calculator, but I modded the calculator.
So I'll show you from my phone first the before. So this is what I wanted to build. So this, it's called a WP34S. That's not actually manufactured. This was an HP calculator. You can see the HP logo in the corner. And back in about 2011, 2012, a couple of guys in Germany and Australia, I think it was, rewrote the ROM for this. Oops, thank you. Rewrote the ROM for this HP calculator to make it a much more advanced scientific calculator. So I stumbled upon this, and I collect calculators. It's one of my weird hobbies. And I decided I wanted to go for this. And so what you start with is an HP 30B calculator, right, from HP. They stopped selling these, I think, in about 2002, 3 maybe. But you can still find them brand new on the web. I actually had this calculator in my collection, but I ordered a backup for $20 on eBay, brand new, because I was afraid I was going to fry the one that I had, and then I couldn't get anywhere. But this is the raw piece. If you turn it around on the back, there's a programming port. It's running an old ARM processor. So the source code and it's all done in assembler is all free online open source. So I actually looked at the code that was running in this. But what you have to do is you have to really make this thing fly or make it much more advanced. You take it apart, and the circuit board itself has a place to solder a crystal, but HP never soldered a crystal because they didn't need it. So what you do is you end up putting a crystal on it. That gives you an internal clock. So now it also is a calculator and a stopwatch, and it always knows what the current date and time is, and you can calculate date and time features. So I had to disassemble the calculator. I have these parts in my parts bin. You put 2 capacitors on here plus the 32 kilohertz crystal, and you have a calculator now that has a clock crystal running it on top of the crystal that would normally be running it. Now the problem is the programming port. They stopped selling the programming cable for this in about, I think I read online somebody bought one in 2003 or 4. So you can't buy the cable anymore. And they say if you see it on eBay, it'll be gone before anybody starts because they didn't make many of them. So I had to make the programming cable for this. So to do that, these are called pogo pins. So what I did is I made this, and I actually brought this in, so you can see there's the cable itself, but these are called pogo pins, and if you look, I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Maybe I'm going to zoom in. Let's see if I can get it back on. The tips are spring-loaded, so they're pointed little tips with a spring load on them. Again, they're called pogo pins. Amazon, would you believe? You get this entire bin of pogo pins. The spacing on this is 2 millimeters, and the pogo pin's diameter is 1 millimeter. So, you have to get things very well in alignment, and then you can see I custom formed a little bit of aluminum to make a thing that grips the side. That all runs down to a board that I have, and that's the USB to serial adapter so that I can plug it into a computer. I think that's then the next piece that you need is you need a new keyboard. But instead of putting a new keyboard on it, what you do is you reprint an overlay, and then you cut all of the little pieces out so that you can put them on there, because it completely remaps, the new ROM completely remaps the keyboard. So this is, I have a silhouette, and you have to run this like you're doing a sticker, where you have to align the laser printed piece with the blade that's going to cut. So it takes a couple iterations. Nobody had online the template to do this. They used to sell, there was a few people selling them, but last post I saw in 2022, he said, I'm no longer able to get my silhouette to cut these, so you'll have to make your own. But he didn't share his silhouette plans. So I had to actually go into Inkscape and measure everything out to get it. They did give me a PDF or a PNG of the image, but I had to figure out the cutouts and everything. So I did that. And then here you can see this is the sticker sheet that I'm slowly putting them on. You can see the top row has them, and the bottom set I haven't put them on yet. Really unhappy with the quality of my sticker sheets. I'm going to peel these all off. I figured I'm not going to do it till after the show and show, but I'm going to peel them all off and redo it. I didn't like the vinyl paper. You can see this is the vinyl paper I used. When it runs through my laser printer, it starts out really nice and black, and then when it gets towards the end, it grays out. So this is a plastic coated vinyl paper for laser, and it doesn't work very well. So I found that I could use a paper label and get it to work a lot better. And I think, nope, and then I have one more, and then there's everything on. Once I saw I didn't like the quality, I sort of started rushing my stickers, so you can see I'm sort of crooked and misaligned, but figured out they're all gonna peel off. So there's the calculator. You'll notice it still says HP Professional Business at the top. I haven't designed and made that. They used to sell a little sticker for that. So I still have all that, but here's the, oops. There's the calculator. And you can see it turns on. This calculator, I don't know if you can tell, it has 3 sets of function keys, and every key is mapped multiple times. So there are ways to test your calculator for how accurate it is. And I almost thought of bringing them in, but I thought I wouldn't waste your time on that. Floating point math is notorious for rounding errors. And there are tests you can run on your calculator to see how inaccurate your calculator will be when you start falling off into those digits. This calculator is accurate to 32 decimal positions in floating point. So yeah, it can't actually display the whole number, so you actually have to hit some function keys. Let's see if I can get pi on the screen and then tell it to shift over. That's the yellow here. There's the remainder, so it's showing you the top, and then it's showing you the rest of pi out here. So the other advantage of this calculator is it's extremely accurate with floating point. Obviously, it still fails. A few of the tests that I ran, all of my HPTI and Casio calculators fail. There's a tough test you can do. You take 10001 and square it 27 times, and you'll watch it not roll off correctly. This one actually hits it correctly. I see people laughing. It's a weird hobby of mine, I'm sorry. It's the sort of thing I love to do. I like to see them fail. So, Russell?
What does it do?
Let me show you. You ready? Here you go. Right, 2 plus. Look at this. Come on. I don't know if you guys noticed, this is an RPN calculator. RPN is reverse Polish notation. It's a way of doing calculations, not the way you would see them normally algebraically. I really love RPN calculators, so this is an RPN calculator. Yeah.
I've never heard of this 34.
There is no such thing. HP never made one. WP, this is an HP 30. The WP, if I go back to my phone, the WP34S, if you go look it up, if you want to go find it, there you go. So the WP, this is a WP34S. WP are the first letter initials of, let's see, Pauly is the guy from Germany, I think, and Walter is the guy from Australia or something, or Germany. And the WP is for their initials. 34 because HP did make a very early LED calculator, the 34 that they loved. This is modeled a lot after the HP 42S. If you know your HP calculator, 42S was really a top-of-line calculator. This does everything the 42S does, plus the 15C, plus the 16C. So it's a programmer's calculator and all that. And again, all the source code's available, so technically I can make it do more. It's fully programmable too, so.
Do you have any Swiss micros?
I don't have a Swiss Micro. The guys that are doing this stopped doing everything with the HP calculators. They now do it with the Swiss Micros. The reason I don't have those, the starting price of a real Swiss Micro is about $400, and then you mod it. So, I'm like, you know what? I'm not that happy. But if you want to see what a Swiss Micro looks like, it looks like that because you can just get it for your iPhone. So, yes, I could go buy a Swiss Micro, or I could just download an app that is effectively the Swiss Micro. So, I don't have a Swiss Micro, but I have it this way. And I'm not paying $400 to mod it. Someday when they're cheap like these are, then yeah, I'll probably buy one. Any other questions? Yeah.
Now, this is a personal question, but how many do you have a year?
No, I don't think not enough. I don't think I've counted them in years, but I would guess maybe 50. I collected a lot of weird, odd ones that are on company rulers that had a calculator in the corner, ones that open up that had paper tape. I have when my daughters went to school, all their calculators, they didn't carry them with them. They weren't into it as much as I was. And my one daughter went on to study physics, and so I bought her a nice TI 89. But of course, I had to buy an 89 also because she took hers off to school. And in case she had questions on how do I do this, I needed to know. Quick story on that is she had hers stolen, so Dad had to send her his and said, don't get mine stolen. So I do still have mine, but I only have 189. So, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Rob wins the Nerd Award tonight, I guess. But we still have some more. Next up is Steve Brown, who has a new back porch.
This shirt.
You bring it with you.
Twist and hold.
What,
Twist and hold it where you request more. There you go.
okay. About a month ago, I decided my back porch really was not repairable. If you'll notice, there's a board that has completely rotted out there. There's rotted steps. That board's gone. The steps are gone. There's rot there. I was afraid somebody was going to go through my back porch. And a few years ago, my brother did a back deck, and he had the offcuts from his Trex left. And I said, that would make a nice porch. Getting the old porch off was a major project. It came off in small pieces. Have you seen these nails that are twisted like a screw in 40-year-old treated 2x stuff? They don't come out. So the thing came apart in pieces. At which point we found that this is the foundation of my house, and that's the rot behind the porch. So I'm not sure what you call the 2x8 that just faces the floor joists and keeps them from twisting, but that was rotted out. So I had to get all the rot out and replace that, which was lots of fun. And while I was doing that, I managed to cut my water line. But porch turned out pretty nice. These concrete steps were at an angle about like this, and the top one was about this wide and this high, and the bottom one was the right height, the right width, but it was about this high off the ground. So the tough part about this was figuring out how to get the angle proper to do new steps. And what I wound up doing is you can see a carpenter square here with a level on it that comes out 22 inches because I wanted 11-inch stairs, and lands where it's going to land. And then I used a piece of 2x8 that I had taken out of the old stairs to get the angle right, and just drew a line perpendicular to the edge of the porch to get that angle. Did the same thing here. I don't know if you can see the line there. And I had it raised up so that it would cross at the point where I wanted the bottom step, the top of the bottom step to land. This may be a strange way to go about it, but it worked. That was the plan I had made to figure that out. And that cut off the bottom part that sits on the ground, and I used that piece of 2x8 to make it essentially a pattern. And when I got it right, which was about the second time, I cut new 2x8s and put in new stairs. And there's, my little brother decided that due to my advancing age and declining balance, I should probably have some sort of rail. But I'd used carriage bolts to put the decking together, so I had to make a cutout on the 2x4 to go over the carriage bolt. And that's the railing on the one side next to the door. And I've got a wide shelf on the top for if I can put something down when I'm opening the door. And that's what it wound up looking like. And Russell, this took place over a period of about 3 weeks.
Very nice. Next up is Zach and Erica with Clockman.
So we have this little Beauty and Beast corner at home. Actually, the pots and chips I bought it at TJ Maxx, and after I purchased these two is I think last year, a little bit over a year ago, and I said I really want that Clockman. So, but my husband said also, well, we're gonna have a Clockman anyway. Let's make a functional one, actual a clock that works. But the original Clockman, what's it called? Cogsworth, is not the round face, so it's hard to put in the actual clocks in. That's why we pick another version that is a cuter version, not the original one, to actually fit the clock inside. And what's that? Oh, that's the piece that he bought it from Amazon. And he will explain how to 3D print this stuff. I'm just doing the staging.
I've always tried to.
Where's
After I 3D printed quite.
Oh my.
Yeah. After I 3D printed quite some stuff, I found it's kind of boring because I just try to use the combination the 3D printing and other stuff combined together to make it interesting to achieve two goals. One is to make it put there worth to look, and I don't get bored for months. And the other goal is to make it super useful, because I made some furnitures with the wood and 3D printed parts. So this one is something that I made looks fun to me, and we put our home for about a year. and I'm still not bored because it's moving and it looks cute. Yeah. So yeah, that's all. So.
The material, so is all the brown parts or all of that 3D printed, or is there some wood?
Yeah, it's all 3D printed. The only part is the clock and the pendulum. And it took me like a week and a half to make it, and spent over half of the time to make it work, because I just try to combine the 3D printed part and the clock, but the space is quite limited. Yeah, and I just try to, yeah. To make the pendulum work, I use my wife's hair band to make it bounce, to make it bounce, so it can like move smoothly. So yeah, and I didn't glue them together because I may do some modification in the future, like maybe make his eye moving, so like more interesting look. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you do it just one piece or multiple pieces that you put together?
Like about 8 pieces, I think, and I come together. Yeah.
Is that pendulum actually part of the clock mechanism, or is it just moving for fun?
It's part of the clock.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the part.
That's the piece
Yeah.
from Amazon.
I spent like 2 days to find the right one to fit in. So yeah, I spent quite a time to find the right one, and spent like a few days to figure out how to put it in the limited space. Yeah. Okay. No questions? Okay. Thank you.
Very cute. Next up, we have Sam, who has a fish, a microbe, and orchids.
Hello, all. The part that I left out about that is that these are stamps. So this is my first show and share. Thank you for having me. I've been a member for 1 month, and I've really enjoyed my time here. Thank you. Okay, first up, we have our fish. Oh, goodness. Wow. Maybe. Whoa. Wrong. Here we are. So I just wanted to walk you through what the material looks like. It folds pretty easily. It's sort of like an eraser material, but not quite. It's called Easy Carve. It is much easier to carve than linoleum is, and also less expensive. I find that linoleum, when I use the carving tool and I'm carving across like this, sometimes linoleum is so hard that you kind of go and can hit yourself. And so something like this is much less painful. So there's our fish. And I want to show you, this is the final card. So what I love about these stamps is that I can just make cards with them. This is a card, like I can fold it and it would be a gift card or a thank you card. And so I make all of my stamps this shape. For another example, we have a microbe. This is my favorite flatworm. And you can't quite tell. I might leave this on the rack, but there's a lot of detail that you can get with the really thin carving pieces here. This is a wide one. But we have many in the arts and crafts area, so you can try this out too if you'd like. Another fun one that I did recently is a two-sided stamp. So to conserve material, I carved one stamp on this side and the opposite version on this side. And so I can get really interesting orchid designs sort of by playing with the angles of the different parts of the orchid. This is my favorite one. So you can see I had the white veins on one side and the dark veins on the other. And it conserves material because I'm using the same stamp. Anyway. And then the last one I wanted to show you is on theme. Here we have a jack-o'-lantern with lightning. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I have several questions. You back there? Great question. I will lay down, back. I lay down a sheet, I take my stamp, and I have like an ink pad that I use, and I just stick it a million times, and then I drop it down. And then when I peel it up, it should have the stamp. So pretty straightforward. I set it down like that, like I anchor it and then I press it a little bit. I guess I could do one right now, but another?
Do you draw directly onto the Easy Farm, or do you do the drawing separately and transfer over?
Great question. You can see here, I used blue Sharpie around some of these edges, and so it did stain the material, but that doesn't come out in the actual, when I make the stamp. So yeah, and then I used graphite. I used just a pencil for the rest of it. So it's really easy to draw what you want, and then it's like tracing. It's like truly no harder than that. And so I may do some sort of workshop in the future just so you can try it if you'd like, because it's really straightforward and you can make all sorts of Halloween letters and love letters and hate letters, and it's fantastic. Any more? You? Thank you. One more.
Are there any future designs you want to do?
Future designs. I have some Halloween ones I'm pretty excited about, so keep an eye out. Thank you.
You have so much. I do. They're gorgeous. Last but not least, we have Larry with Rat GDO.
Rat GDO.
So this story starts with my garage door opener on our house that we bought a few years back. It was painfully undependable. Sometimes I would roll up and it would work just fine. Other times I would roll up, particularly when it was raining or just inclement weather or something like that. It just would refuse to work. I would get out, I would go inside, open the garage door up, pull in, hit the button, and it would work perfect again. So I learned that there was an app called MyQ that works with the garage door opener, and that worked for a while. It was also a little bit clumsy and cumbersome because it seems like about once every 2 or 3 months it would require me to log back in, and it was just kind of a multi-step thing. It worked, but it still wasn't as smooth as I wanted. Around that time, I was doing a Home Assistant install, and I found out that you could integrate MyQ into Home Assistant. What this did was basically alleviate the need to log in every time or almost every time you wanted to use it. And it just made it a lot more seamless experience. But the problem then became that MyQ started making changes that broke the integration with Home Assistant. And I know that Isaac is doing a talk after Show and Share tonight about FOSS software. And this is a key example of why you should always try to use FOSS software. The MyQ app kept breaking, and so I was looking for an alternative, and the alternative that I found was called Rat GDO. Rat GDO stands for Rage Against the Garage Door Opener. I know that question came up as I was walking up, so thank you for letting me give you the backstory before we got to what it was. Now my phone's going to be ornery. Yeah. So as you can see, when I originally looked at this and captured this screenshot, the price for one of these kits was $45. I figured maybe there was a little bit better way. As I was shopping, the prices continued to go up. and they continue to go up. This is the current price, by the way, I believe $62 a unit. So if you have 2 garage door openers, that's going to run you about $124, of course. Then I ran across something called Rat GDO Go. You see what's happening here, don't you? Yes. Rage against the garage door opener. And this is actually a home build project that uses the exact same software that Rat GDO uses, but basically you end up with a schematic and a very short list of parts, and you can actually build your own version of what you can buy for $62. And this is the basic parts list here. You need either an ESP 8266 or an ESP 32, and then a very short list of discrete components. A few 10K ohm resistors, a 2-inch 7000 MOSFET, and in my case, as you can see the highlighted red area down there, in some cases you can use the same MOSFET twice instead of that third piece. I was able to do that, so my parts list was even a little bit shorter. When I actually went on Amazon and bought all the parts, before I realized just how well stocked our electronics zone was. Most of these, not most of these, a lot of these I could have like bought onesies or twosies out of the electronic zone, or just maybe got some out of the donation bin. Was not aware of that at the time, so I bought all my parts, but they still added up to $45. And that was less than the price of a single Rat GDO, and this allowed me to build up to 5 Rat GDOs. So when I actually ended up building 3 because we have a weird garage downstairs, they worked out to $15 a piece, which I was pretty happy with. For those of you that are electrically inclined, this is the circuit. For you that are not electrically inclined, it's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty basic circuit. This is what 2 of them look like. The one on the left has the ESP 8266 sitting on top of it. The one on the right, the red one, I have it pulled off just so you can see a little bit more of the wiring and the discrete components that are on there. Just a couple of different angles. This is it actually installed. It's 3 wires that go into your garage door opener, and a USB power supply, which you can get off the hack rack, by the way. There's almost always one there. And then you have this really long list of information that you can pull from your garage door opener, which is probably useless to you, but it's still fun to look at. This is all the information that your garage door, or at least my Chamberlain garage door opener, makes available. And then I think, yep, you actually can control your garage door opener. So it's kind of hard to see, but up there in the top middle of the screen, there's an up arrow, down arrow, and a square, which are basically the controls. And then on the right-hand side, you can see all of the individual messages that the Rat GDO is sending back to the ESP Home software. That's not very pretty, so you then integrate it into your Home Assistant build, and then you get the pretty controls. And the basic information that you need to actually operate it. So you can raise it partially if you're one of those that likes to open your garage door a little bit during the summer and let it cool off inside, or you can raise it all the way up, or you can lower it all the way down. Or if you're like me that sometimes forgets to close the garage door openers, you can set up an automation that at midnight closes all your garage doors if they're open. So, and if anyone cares to see it, this is one of the actual devices. I pulled off my garage door opener. I'm not going to pass it around, but if you want to take a look at it and what goes into it, it's here. And that's really it for me. Any questions? Duskin?
Probably really naive, but I have a garage door that all of a sudden, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, if I just left it closed. I thought I could just get a battery, and replace the battery.
I mean, it really depends on why your garage door is an opening. I mean, if you're using the physical button that is wired or whatever, then it's probably not something that this will help. This is more for like remote connectivity. Any other? Yes?
So how do you activate it, with your cell phone or a smartwatch? From your car?
Yeah, I use my phone from my car. We also have a display in the house. You can also wire it up to physical buttons if you want to. So, yeah, it interfaces through ESP Home, which makes a lot of options available pretty straightforward. So, yeah. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Can you make it like, when you go back home, you almost at your home and it can open your garage door automatically?
Yeah, so what you're asking, if I understand correctly, is like kind of like geofence my garage door opener so that when I approach, it will open automatically. I can do that. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I could see myself like walking down the hill and then coming back up into my neighborhood or something like that, and it opening and me walking in the front door and not realizing it. And yeah, no, it's possible, absolutely, and it's not that difficult, but not something I care to do. So.
Yeah, probably you can like get an extra one put in your car because I have trouble like every time I try to open my garage door, I have to okay, I'm gonna find the key and make the button and wait like probably 10 seconds.
Well, yeah, but basically I just do it right here. I mean, realistically, this is my home assistant install, and I connect to it via Nabukasa, and oops, that's actually one of the garage door openers right there. But yeah, right here are my two garage door openers, and I can see what they're doing. And it looks like I may have actually bumped one and started opening it, so let me fix that.
Is your garage door password protected? No. No, it's not. So, challenge accepted. That's the end of our shares. We have one announcement from Aliki, who's going to tell us some numbers.
You were supposed to say stuff ahead of time, but that's okay. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. Hi. Hello, everyone. I don't know if you were around this weekend, but we had some company. How about that? We welcomed a lot of people. We received a lot of feedback, and I think we've got some really good ideas on how to make next year better. So I wanted to bring you some numbers so you too could be marveled by the information that I have. 9, 14, 15, 82%, guess not. Okay, maybe I give you some context for those numbers. So we gave everybody, thank you, Steve, by the way, I appreciate the everybody. We gave everybody feedback surveys that they could fill out, really simple. Would you come back? Did we suck? What did you love? A little bit more business pro. And we received quite a bit of really good constructive feedback. I would say that about 9 of our marketeers had fantastic suggestions, mostly fantastic suggestions on how to improve. Apparently we're lacking in coffee. That was my favorite. I mean, I had coffee. So we also had a large batch that really wished we had more people. So let's tackle that. Our highest market, we were at 562 at our highest market. And that was the last, I would call it, day market we did before the night market. And our numbers were somewhere around there. The night market, which was the coolest party we threw that maybe some folks knew about, that was in the 350 range. I can't find the exact number, but we didn't cross 360. And on Sunday, we had 389. So what I didn't account for was Greek Fest. It's my own people that took us out. I feel a little betrayed. They moved it to November, and then they snuck it back to September while we weren't looking. So we might look at dates again for next year. We're still looking at only one market. But I wanted to provide everybody with the information that we received 0 negative feedback about all of our volunteers, all of our members that were on site, whether you were giving a tour, whether you were welding, whether you were sitting at the info booth helping with the Artomatic. I always want to call it Artomatic because that's what the machines are, the mystery machine. fashioned after an art-o-matic. Everyone had a fantastic time and really appreciated the love that we provide to our fellow crafters, inviting them onto our grounds and celebrating crafting with them and, eating and having a great time while we're doing it. So I wanted to thank everybody. I want everybody to turn around and see two dudes standing, next to Isaac. The one in the green shirt, his name is Joshua. I think you guys have seen him a few times, and his buddy Noah here. I'd love to get him to get a round of applause for the parking job and the front door that they did. So they did a lot of the work that y'all didn't have to. So I really am thankful. Thank you to the both of you. And of course, we love our volunteers. So even though you didn't do parking, and those that did help with parking, there were others. There was Matt, there was Amy. We had, I think Hunter came out for a little bit. We had a whole bunch of folks helping, but those two gentlemen did the lion's share of it. So I really wanted them to get the thanks. Outside of that, we had a great market, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you have ideas, if you have comments, feedbacks, thoughts, random wild hairs that you want me to know before next time, or you think it might make it better or adjusting, now is the time to gather that information and send it to me. We're almost too late already. If it reaches a whole week, that information is gone. So think about it. Maybe message me, catch me at one of these evenings, tonight maybe, and let me know. Duskin's getting us started. What's the...
I just thought the really interesting part was having the battle box the whole time.
Kill switch. So she said kill switch was awesome. She loved it, and she wants it to happen so much more frequently. I may have paraphrased a little. Excellent. But that was my announcement. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all your hard work, and let's do it again next year, but better.
Thank you so much, Aliki, for running this whole thing. And thank you, Larry, for running Kill Switch and making it amazing. It was a really good time, and if you missed it, you missed out. Sorry. You'll just have to come next year. Upcoming events. Next Tuesday, new member onboarding. If you're interested in membership, if you're a trial member, you have to come to one of these eventually at some point before getting your key. You sit in the classroom and listen to not super boring lecture from Isaac and I talking about Knox Makers and how amazing it is and how to be a good member. We do them twice a month, so if you can't make it next week, there'll be another one soon. Next Saturday, there are 2 laser classes, 1 off for each laser class, so if you're interested in getting offed on the lasers, sign up for that. Next Saturday is also our annual spook show, put on by our resident Halloween expert, Isaac. This is his labor of love to all of us every single year. He's a movie fanatic and picks out the weirdest, strangest Halloween movies he has, and some shorts, and there's junk food and fun and movies. I am hiding the most important part. The second movie is definitely for mature audiences only. Do not bring your children or people with sensitive ears and eyes. Ask Isaac if you need more clarification on that, but the beginning is more tame, the end is less so. We will not be streaming that to the internet. The week after that, and don't forget to RSVP so we know how much junk food to bring to the spook show. The next Friday after that is on Friday the 17th, is Monsters Made with Hate. You may have gone to one of Lori's Monsters Made with Love, but we have convinced her that she needs to turn into her dark side and get some helpers, Aliki, to bring some spite and some anger into the season. So come and make a monster full of whatever angry feelings you have. Saturday the 18th is very busy. There's a woodworking authorization class. There is Stitch and Bitch, and there's also a brand new social group called Spaghetti Fixins, and that is in the 3D printing area. If you have a 3D printer, if you want to learn about 3D printing, how to fix the machines, it's going to be a collective maintenance, repair, dig into how to not make spaghetti on the 3D printing machines, and you can talk to Rhubarb. Hi, Rhubarb. Talk to Rhubarb if you have questions about that. That is free at 2 o'clock on on Saturday, the 18th. Tonight, after show and share, which is in about 10 minutes now, 15 minutes, Isaac will be doing a Tuesday night talk on free and open source home automation. So if you want to hear more about what something like Larry was doing, but for your whole house, you can come and listen to Isaac talk about it. And if you rent your house like I do, he also covers some of that. So it's not like you have to like dig into the wiring of your place. He covers all kinds of different home automation. It's a great talk. We'll be doing that in about 10-15 minutes. Give everyone a break, time to disperse, use the bathroom. If you don't want to listen to it, go do something else. And then the most important announcement for tonight is that it's Billy's birthday, so you should be sure to harass him. So that's all I have for tonight. See you in a couple minutes.